The place is really starting to look like a home. Way better now than when you first moved in.
Thanks. I've been trying to stick with the budget, especially the wedding next month.
Yeah, I still can't believe your parents aren't helping you pay for anything.
You know how they feel about Ryan.
Yeah, but still.
Someone talking about me.
Hey, babe. Meg was just saying that our house is finally starting to look like a home.
It's all thanks to you.
So, about the wedding, I know we have to make a decision today about if we want a DJ or a band because they have to set up like staging and stuff. I know we were talking about the one DJ.
Hey, what is this?
Oh, it's just some old book I found in the basement. You like to read. I thought you'd like it. Needs some cleaning, but...
That's interesting. The guy that lived here before Ryan, not a reader.
And he was a widower.
How would you know?
He was my uncle.
What? How did I not know this?
Didn't seem important.
If he's a widower, then what happened to his wife?
Family's got a bunch of stories. All I know is that my aunt didn't die from cancer or a car accident, but she did die in the house. No. Don't.
It's her.
No, that's why I didn't say anything.
It's her.
What's her?
Okay, so we have a ghost.
Here we go.
It's
again.
the only explanation.
Yeah, it's the only explanation. There are plenty of other explanations that don't involve dead people.
Except it's the one that makes the most sense, considering. I mean, okay, so like for instance, last week we were sitting in the kitchen, we were having a conversation, and lights start flickering. And
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
okay, but like the next day the lights were still flickering, by the way. The next day, also, the kitchen timer starts going off for the oven, and we hadn't cooked anything that day. You have to admit, that was strange.
Are you sure it's not an electrical problem?
Thank you.
Forgot. I didn't even tell you about the last one.
How would you tell me?
So much weirder, okay? So, the other night, while you were working late, I was hanging stuff up in our room, and I saw that my screen was lit, my phone screen. And so I go and I look, and the map app is open. Not only is it open, it's actually on Meg Street, which is so weird, because I've never had to use the map app to go to Meg's, right? But, so I'm trying to close it, and it just keeps coming back up. And it did that almost until you got home that night.
That's creepy.
It is creepy. It's a ghost.
Maybe you had voice command on. Or
I
something.
didn't.
No, of course you didn't. So anyway, I can't...
So, why have I not heard about your aunt and uncle before?
It was a shady situation. I mean, after Aunt Jody died, it seemed like literally the day after Uncle Hank started dating this other woman. My mom thought that he was cheating on Aunt Jody the whole time.
My mom thinks a home man cheats, so...
Don't they?
And it's understandable, Ryan, considering what happened with your dad, and don't talk like that, Meg.
Like what? Like every time I open my mouth, the truth comes out?
Anyways, the reason I came up here, babe, have you seen my phone charger?
Is it on your dresser?
The one there when I looked.
That's weird. I mean, I cleaned earlier, but I don't think I moved it. I'll go look. Thank you.
So,
What now?
you know what? You still haven't told her.
There's been a lot going on.
And you haven't been texting me.
I haven't been texting you.
Yes, I've texted you and you haven't been responding.
Heck, there's no messages. Look.
This is crazy. I've texted you like 100 times and none of them are here.
I wouldn't do that to you. You know that.
You haven't told Alexia the wedding's off. You haven't told her about us. You need to tell her.
What is... Oh! Ow! Okay. This is Jody. I'm kind of looking for something right now, so... Okay, never mind. Is this Jody?
They're downstairs.
Mm. That's weird. Meg? Ryan, you guys won't believe this.
I will. I don't want to hurt her.
You guys? I think I might have fractured my arm.
What happened?
Well, I was upstairs and you won't believe this, but I'll tell you in a second. I'm sorry. Well, that's... Meg, when did you send me all these texts?
What?
Yeah, they're still coming.
Oh, hell.
These weren't meant for me. Were they?
Alexia, I'm so sorry. I didn't want you to find out like this.
They're downstairs. What she was telling me.
Come here, we need to sit down and you can...
Oh, don't touch me. You've been cheating on me. You've been cheating on me with Meg.
What do you mean she knew? What are you talking about?
Every time, Ryan. When you'd be talking about working late, or I'd say something about Meg, she's been trying to tell me this the whole time. She knew the entire time.
Listen, we need to go to the hospital, okay? So let's just...
Don't touch me. We're done.
You're just like him!
The hell?
Yeah, you are just like him. Tell your Aunt Jody I said thanks. I almost made a huge mistake.
Listen. Everything that you've just witnessed was inspired by true events. People from all over the globe, from different cultures, religions, and all throughout time have reported the existence of spirits and ghosts. And others have actually claimed to be attacked and sometimes even been killed by these very beings. So today we're going to be talking about the possibility of a spirit actually harming or killing somebody, and if they in fact can do it. My name is Justin Sisk, and this is Stories of Lore. Before we talk about the possibility of a spirit harming or even killing somebody, we must first talk about what a spirit is. Webster's Dictionary defines a spirit as the force within someone's body that gives them life, energy, and power. All cultures, modern day and throughout time, have had a theory or an idea about what a spirit is and how it relates to the human body. So let's look at the two different aspects of what a spirit is, both the scientific explanation and the spiritual explanation. Science has said that we are all made of energy. We cannot deny that. We are all made of atoms, and each one of these atoms give off a certain amount of atomic energy or nuclear energy. These atoms make up our cells. Our cells give off about 1.4 volts of energy from these atoms. Now, if you combine that with the 50 trillion cells that our body is made up of, then we are giving off a total of 700 trillion volts of energy. This is science's explanation for the human soul. And that does make sense, considering that science also says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, which means that the energy that your body is giving off will survive long after your body does not. On the spiritual side, there are many theories to what the soul is and what happens to it when we die. Christianity believes that if you live a good life and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, that you will be rewarded with everlasting paradise or heaven. But those who do not accept Him and live wicked lives will be cast into hell or eternal punishment. In Hinduism and branches of paganism, they believe that the soul is reincarnated continuously until the soul learns its lesson or accomplishes some task, and then is rewarded with paradise. There are other religions that believe that their hell is only a temporary phase in the soul's afterlife, and once their lessons are learned and or they serve their time, they are rewarded with paradise. There are also other religions that just simply have an everlasting paradise for all souls. But no matter which religion you look at, all religions do have a form of an afterlife. In this episode, I had the pleasure of speaking with an expert on the subject of spiritualism and energy by the name of Samantha Harvey. And she informed me that a great way of looking at energy is by looking at the concept of qi or qi, which is popular in Chinese culture. You can look at qi as our life force, or the way that our energy flows throughout our body. Qi is responsive to both thought and feeling. If our ki is good and free-flowing, then we are in good mood and good health. However, if negativity slips in there and disrupts our ki, then it can make someone feel sick or have negative thoughts or feelings. If we combine both of these aspects, both the scientific and the spiritual, we can start to see the full picture of the soul being formed. There's even actually a practice that people use that they tap into this very energy to help heal others. It is called Reiki. Samantha also went on to explain how Reiki works. When a person receives a Reiki treatment, the Rei or God-conscious part of the energy assesses where the person has blocks and then directs healing energy, usually to block that is nearest the hands. However, sometimes it will go to block that what is most important, even if it is far from the hands. The Reiki energy then works with the negative thoughts and feelings that are blocking one's natural flow of ki and heals them as well. There's no question, no matter which side, scientific or spiritual, you visit, that energy exists within all of us. But once a person dies and that energy is released, does that energy have the ability to harm the living? Many people around the world have reported being hit, scratched, poked, attacked, and even possibly being killed by these spirits. So that begs the question, does a spirit have the ability to harm or even kill the living? And if they did, why would they do it? There are many different names for evil or malevolent spirits. Demons, jinn, dybbuk, yaoguai, to name a few. These evil spirits are reported to be the cause of many paranormal and supernatural attacks on the living. One of the most reported of these attacks are the infamous red scratch marks that individuals will get on their arms, backs, legs, and other parts of their body. And normally when we hear about these red scratches appearing on people's bodies, they are normally blamed on demons. However, in theory, any one of these negative or evil spirits could do the job. Now, not all spirits are evil. And not all spirits are powerful. Some of them aren't even as powerful enough to move an object or slam a door, like we hear a lot about. The spirits that are powerful enough to manipulate objects within their environment could, in theory, have the ability to move a step above that and actually start harming living people. These spirits that are powerful enough to manipulate their environment and possibly harm the living are spirits that are aware of energy. Some people claim that these spirits can use the energy from electronic devices to gain more power and cause more harm. But there are others who also believe that these spirits could get the energy straight from the source, that being me and you. They could drain us of our energy in order to do what they are trying to do. Just like I mentioned earlier when I mentioned that everyone has a ki, or their central energy. If a negative or malevolent energy or spirit comes in and disrupts your energy, that could potentially harm you, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally. It could also lead to you becoming sick, physically sick. Many people have reported becoming sick in very heavily haunted areas. They feel like they are drained or sickly. Now this brings us into a very infamous case that I wanted to speak about that deals about a spirit causing someone to become sick and then ultimately killing them, which was put on the record for this man's death. That, of course, is the Bell Witch haunting. John Bell moved his family to Adams, Tennessee in the early 1800s. Over time, they started experiencing odd occurrences that were taking place in their home. It started as small things, like doors being slammed and objects being misplaced. It quickly, however, escalated to members of the family being attacked. It ended once John Bell became deathly ill. Some of his symptoms included seizures, convulsions, excessive migraines, numbness or tingling sensations throughout his body, and fatigue and weakness. He eventually died from his mysterious illness, which was blamed on the spirit haunting the home. Was it possible that John Bell was killed by a spirit? Is it possible that others around the world have been killed by spirits? If we examine the data, then we can come to the conclusion that in theory, yes, a spirit or an energy force does have the ability to harm or even kill another human being. If this spirit or energy force has the ability to manipulate things around their environment, like moving objects, throwing things, slamming doors, and other things like that, then the next step would be to harm the person living in that space. That is not to say, however, that every time someone becomes sick, it is the spirit's fault. It is also not true to say that if a spirit is involved with someone being sick, then there is no real illness. Why can't we simply combine the two? Dr. Bruce Lipton explains that atomic energy can not only be studied individually, but it can also be examined from when atoms collide with one another and their energies interact with one another. We are all made of energy. Whether you want to call it simply that, energy, or a spirit, we cannot deny that it's not there. Science also says that energy cannot be destroyed. So that means that our energy or our spirit will survive our body's death. But that does not always mean that once that energy released, it will necessarily be a good thing. This has been an episode of Stories of Lore covering whether or not spirits have the ability to kill or harm the living. My name is Justin Sisk, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching the video today. If you liked what you saw, then please don't forget to go down there and hit that big red subscribe button for more videos just like this. You'll have a front row seat to everything related to Stories of Lore, whether it be behind the scenes, some of our countdown videos, or regular episodes just like this. And don't forget to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to like and follow us, to follow all of the news following and circulating around Stories of Lore. I would also like to give a big thanks and a big shout out to Samantha Harvey, who provided us with some great expert advice and information for today's episode. And I wanted to also give her a shout out because she also runs a shop up in Northern Virginia, in Occoquan, Virginia, where she sells herbs and candles and oils and all sorts of other awesome things that you guys should go and check out. I will put a link down for her business in the description box below. She also teaches classes on what we talked about in this episode, Reiki, and also other things like spiritualism and clairvoyancy and other awesome things like that. So please go down there, check out her business, and please go and visit the shop and maybe attend a couple classes if you guys are ever in the area. So, like I said, my name is Justin Sisk, and I will see you guys in the next video.